Hello everybody and welcome back. Today's tutorial we're going to be learning about using AI and how it's a small little program on AI and how do you teach a computer to play with you. So this is a game that you have a user and you play against the computer. Let me give you guys a little demo before we get started on the coding. So this is like that old game back in the day, I guess like ping pong, but ball is a star, and
Game over.
so the one on the left side, that's the user, and is moved with the arrows up and down. The one on the right side is the computer, and our star is like a ball. And when the score for either the player or the computer is higher than 4, then our game is over. So let's go ahead and get started with that code and show you guys how to do it. This project's name is Magic Tennis. It's from Coding for Kids in Scratch 3. So let's go ahead and start by getting our sprites. We need 2 ones, so we're gonna get 2 ones. And then we need a star. Then we need to choose 5 backgrounds. So right now let's remove the empty background we have, and to remove it you have to click on it and go on this backdrops, and well, I guess you can't remove it yet, but once you add the other ones you will be able to remove it. So let's go ahead and find other backgrounds. Choose any 5 at random that you like. So once you add one, you should be able to remove the blank one, and then just keep adding. Alright, so these are 5. Let's go back to our coding. So let's name our sprite. This is our player. We're gonna name that guy player, and this guy is our AI. So that's our computer. Okay, let's get started by coding the player 1 and having it being controlled by the arrows up and down. So like always, we start with our initialization, and we wanted a point. Okay, so quickly, this here, the code, this is our initialization up here, where we wanted to start at when we click the flag. And this forever loop is how we control the one with our arrows, the up and down arrow. So we wanted to move on the y-axis up and down. If we do the up arrow, we wanted to move 5 pixels up. if we press the down arrow, then we want to move 3 pixels down, just like that. Now let's code the AI one. So for the AI one, so the computer control, we wanted to move with the star. So we wanted to move the y-axis as the star moves. Let me show you guys. So right now the star has no movement, but if I move it with the mouse, the one for the computer should move around. Now let's go ahead and code the behavior of the star. We're gonna need several variables here, so speed is one of them, and this is for the star. And this little piece of code is just the initialization for the star. Where do we want it when we click on the green flag? Now we're gonna have the star pick a random direction to move in. For that we're gonna need an if-else statement. So we're gonna do a random pick first. Okay, we're gonna do a random. So this will pick the location of the direction of the movement for the star at random. If it's 1, then it would move to the right. If it's 2, it would move to the left. Now we're gonna do the behavior of it of a star moving and bouncing off the edges when it hits the edge of the screen. Now we're gonna do, after this we're gonna do the, if it's touching the player one, what do we do? Or what does star do? We're gonna add our own sound. The book calls for something called a suction cup. And we'll be creating a broadcast message, which is basically just a call to a function called change effect. And this change effect function we will be creating too. Now this is the code for what the star does when it's touched by the player. Let's do one for when it's touched by the AI, so our computer. Well, let's test this and see what it does. Now let's code our function change effect. This is our second variable. We'll be coding 7 different effects here, so I'm gonna do that and then walk you guys through it. So these here are the random effects we want our star to do when we call the change effect function, and just basically changes color, change the way it looks, the size, speed, and then we change the background at random. And then finally we are going to create the what happens if if a player wins. So we created two new variables, one to keep count of the player and another one to keep count of the computer score. Remove these. We're gonna add that code to the background. Okay, so this basically sets the scores to 0 when it starts, and then it checks if the player is the one who touched the star, then the player gets 1 point. If it's the computer, then the computer gets 1 point. When either one of the players, so if the computer or the player have a score of higher than 4, then the game is over and everything stops. Let's try it out.
Game over.
So I know this was a long one and it took a while, but I think we learned a few things here and there that were pretty interesting. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.